Hi everyone. We've had a really interesting question. It's about weight and losing weight, which might be something that is occupying your mind, or there might be something else in your life where, on the surface, there's a desire. Um, I want to write my novel. I want to earn more money. I want to get more clients. I want to run 10K. But yet, the behavior, the actions, are either not happening towards it or might even be happening in the opposite direction of really making it less and less and less possible. So I'll read out the question. Hi Claire, I've struggled with being significantly overweight most of my adult life, and I'm finding myself more and more confused about it. This conversation has helped me to see more clearly around other suffering, and I feel much more at peace with whatever arises. However, when I'm suffering about my weight, which is often, and I look at what's true, I get confused. It is true that it's healthier not being so overweight, and then there's hunger. I don't know when it's real or habit, etc. Also, when you say that genuine change can never come unless identification with self falls away, I get scared because I wonder if my motives to lose are to secure the self. I want to lose so I can be healthier, feel better, and go upstairs without getting out of breath, etc. But I also want to look better in my clothes, so I wonder if I'm trying to lose for the wrong reasons. Oh, there's so much in this, isn't there? There's so much, and we can get a little bit lost in trying to um, do things for the right reason, because how do we know, really? How do we know? All we can know is that the behavior is happening because it makes total sense. And this is where it gets really interesting, because we start to look at what the underlying motivation is from, because what we know is that whatever behavior is happening, it's going to be fulfilling a deeper, more prioritized, more relevant, more real, more true underlying motivation. And yes, that underlying motivation might be an identification um, with ourselves as a separate identity, or with something that has to be secured, um, or an emotional state that we think we have to have, for example. So if we look at this case here, I want to lose weight so I can be healthier, feel better, go upstairs without getting out of breath. So that's our surface motivation. I want to lose weight for these reasons, and yet I'm not. And so what is the underlying motivation that is giving rise to the behavior as it is now? Well, if we look at, I want to lose weight so I can feel better, be healthier, feel better, be happier, essentially, really, isn't it? We can see that the behaviors that would be necessary to lose weight might well make us very unhappy, very miserable. They might well make us out of breath every time. So the thing that we want to avoid, being out of breath, we're going to have to experience and live. Or the being happier, we might be happier through certain foods, and the thought of not having them when everyone else is really is miserable. And so the underlying motivation is making the behavior happen as it is now, and essentially sabotaging that surface motivation, which is actually completely irrelevant, really. In this scenario, all we've got is a drive and behavior that makes total sense. And it's the same with something like money, or earning more. I want to have more clients. I want to earn more. And if the underlying motivation really is security, say, like feeling stable, feeling like fixed, being someone or being successful, being recognized. In order to expand ourselves into new areas or to get new clients, the chances are we're going to really have to risk rejection, indifference, being criticized, getting things wrong, making ourselves vulnerable. And so the behavior necessary to ultimately secure the self is making us really, really insecure. And so nothing happens. So we sit there thinking, I want to expand my business, and then we find all sorts of other things to do instead, because we can't risk our security. And because the only reason for creating that new business, as far as our mind was concerned, was security, what's the point? Why would we? It's like totally illogical. So this is brilliant. This is really where we start to see how perfect the system is, and how logical it is, and how much sense it makes. And as we make these things transparent, the play out of them becomes more simple and more straightforward. And I think what happens then is, rather than behavior that is trying to secure this self, trying to pin us down, secure an emotion, secure a way of being, it starts to become more about curiosity, more about a freedom of exploration and playfulness that is ultimately true, really. We're aliveness, consciousness localized in a form to experience the form. And so from that space, we can experience the discomfort of trying out new sports, or the misery of not eating cake when everyone else has got cake, or the rejection of asking someone if they'd like to work with us and them saying no. There's nothing bad in that, really. It's just something to experience. And the more in touch behavior is with this curiosity, and with this space of experimentation and exploration, the more true we are really to our essential being, and the less we're trying to shoehorn behavior that actually makes no sense, because there isn't that congruity, there's not that alignment. But alignment from exploration, from what's true, from let's see what happens when, is ultimate freedom, really, isn't it? Potential for anything in that space. Yeah. So that's what I would say, is to really notice how the behaviors that we're trying to force the body to do are not in line with ultimately what that self-identity is wanting. And the more transparent that becomes, and the less necessary it is to try to fix emotions, try to fix experience, try to fix how the body looks, then there's freedom. And that's where the change comes from. Yeah, so I hope that's clear. It's an exciting area. Yeah, thank you so much for the question. Lots of love. Bye.